Well, as election day approaches, people shake their heads and say, and then there are the Greens. They managed 10.4% of the vote at the last federal election in the lower house, and in the latest news poll last Friday, the Greens were at 11%. The coalition vote has collapsed from 41.4% at the last election to 35%. The Greens are boasting that with the Teal independents, they'll be able to bring down the Morrison government, put climate change on the agenda and win the balance of power in the Senate. This threat must be taken seriously. The Greens believe, as they usually do, that they're going to win a seat other than that of the leader Adam Bandt in Melbourne in the lower house. They are specifically targeting Labor's Terry Butler in the Queensland seat of Griffith, Trevor Ryan in Brisbane, and the Liberal backbencher, should that be branch stacker, Julian Simmons in Ryan. I'll come to that later in the program. But it has to be immensely disturbing for Australia that this irresponsible outfit could have any political sway. Adam Bandt spoke to the National Press Club last month. What he had to say was nothing short of a national nightmare. He attacked fossil fuels and included gas in that attack. Obviously, he's completely ignorant of what's happening in Europe. While we go on about net zero carbon dioxide emissions, the Russians and Chinese increase their fossil fuel use, and they'll be clapping hands at their ability to manufacture and supply countries like Australia with everything that's needed for wind turbines and solar panels. How smart's that? If the Greens want to end our gas industry, as they do, our coal industry, Russia and the dictatorships in the Arab Gulf would be the beneficiaries. They are the big gas producers, apart from us. Have you ever heard such nonsense by the Greens? Wipe out our gas industry and in this way strengthen the gas industry in Russia. If the only nations which produce gas after the Greens ban our gas production in Australia are anti-Western dictatorships, this is a disaster for the West. Bandt and his Greens don't seem to understand that a world dominated by Putin and China's Xi don't care too much about greenhouse gas emissions. Resource and energy export earnings are forecast to reach for us $379 billion this financial year, as demand for our coal and gas surges in the face of a global energy shortage. This is the bedrock of our economy. And come Saturday, the Greens are bidding to have the balance of power in both houses, but they want to cut off gas and all other fossil fuel exports. How the hell does Australia pay for its social democracy, which boasts generous welfare payments, first-class hospital care, a national disability insurance scheme? The list is endless. But Bandt and his vandals want to dismantle $379 billion of export income. Now, cop this. The Greens argue that China doesn't pose a threat to Australia, and they've got no problem with the Solomon Islands' decision to form a security partnership with Beijing. The Greens want our military spending, which until recently has been totally inadequate, to be slashed, and the AUKUS agreement cancelled. They want Australia's nuclear submarine program to be axed, Pine Gap to be closed, and the US Marines out of Darwin.